Hey, this is Bad Dog right here. I'm getting ready to do a guest spot on Guy Fawkes' Gunpowder Plot Show. So, prepare yourself for that. Oh yeah. Coming up in a moment or two. Woo-wee! Hello.
My name is John Machado, and this is Gunpowder Plot Show, also known as the Guy Fawkes Podcast. Can you hear me? How about now? Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Oh, could you not hear me when I said, can you hear me the first time?
I'm going to go with no, because...
My name is John Machado, and this is Gunpowder Plot Show, also known as the Guy Fawkes Podcast.
I didn't have my earphones in.
Oh, and we are joined by none other than Bentley Meadows / Bentley Craig / Bad Dog.
Bad Dog!
What's up? What's up?
Dude, I've been triggering the left all day. I got some poor girl all ate up with it.
Proud of you, man. Well done. What'd you do?
Well, first of all, I just want you to know, she had to come and find me.
Because of your podcast?
No, because of my Facebook posting. I said Ashley Babbitt was the only one who died, and then underneath it I put truth. And some girl got on there and
did you see that some police officers died or something?
well, she was saying that she was happy about Ashley Babbitt and that I should check out the video because it was awesome watching her die.
Wait, say that again? What did you just say?
She said it was awesome that Ashley Babbitt died.
Oh, that bitch.
And she told me I should go watch the video. And then I replied back on my post that, you know, watching people killing other people is not my thing. I was like, but since it's your thing, you should go check out the Kyle Rittenhouse video where he killed 3 people trying to kill him. I hear that's hilarious.
It was, dude. Seeing that guy's arm get blown to smithereens is... Okay, listen, before we get too far into this. Tight 1 hour. Tight. Okay? Tight.
Tight.
Like things that are tight. I didn't know how bad I wanted to get. But tight. A tight 1 hour. Anywho. Okay, what was her response? I want to hear that. I'm sucked in now.
I think she said something about the, I should probably look it up. About me. I couldn't,
Wait, is it like DMs or can I look it up?
It's on my Facebook page.
Oh, fuck. I'm signed in on my other account. Damn it.
So,
I hate having to sign over because it fucks me up. Hold up. Wait.
I just posted it today. And then after all that, I sent her a message on Messenger and asked her if she'd like to come on my podcast and talk.
Ooh. Did she take it?
Yeah. So I said, hey you, I do a show / podcast called Bad Dog. Would you like to come on some evening and have a great show? Seriously, I will be polite and respectful. And she replied, I'm not polite or respectable.
Well, yeah, that's a given so far.
Yeah, so I said, well, I think it would be awesome to have you on the show, mainly because none of your types have ever had the balls to have a conversation with people that your types don't agree with. In this mean old world, I said, I think it would be a great time. I could be mean and impolite if that would help. I
Right.
was like, come on and do a show. Don't be a coward. And then she said, what is my type? And
Oh my gosh, I'm watching it.
I
I'm
said,
looking at it.
what type do you think you are? I said, I'm thinking you are just a stupid troll who has no thinking brain. You wouldn't even be able to have a conversation with me because your little brain would not comprehend the words you would hear. An ignorant troll, your type of people. No internal monologue. And then she says, oh, I hurt your feelings, poor things.
So
Just
she
blow it
never.
out your asshole and get over it. And then I said, no, you should keep your mouth off an asshole long enough to fart. And she says, you better Google a better comeback again. And you, you're too weak to try. Cry somewhere else. You, Karen, go join Ashley Babbitt. And I said, here's a roll of toilet paper to wipe your mouth, honey bunny. I
She
was
kept
like,
going.
you are kind of cute for a man, but not but not a very smart troll, silly boy. That was our messenger replies to each other.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I can't see any of that. Like this is Rachel Davis, right?
Rachel Davis. So yeah, so you can read off the
It's all public, by the way. Like
yeah.
Bentley's got his set to public.
And
It's
she's
all.
not a friend of mine and not a friend of any friends of mine. So where
It
she
just
came
did.
from, I have no idea.
Yeah,
But it is public.
yeah, because it cuts off. So it cuts off down at her saying you'd be happy for anything to touch you. Ashley can't do it. It's rippiss, rest and piss.
I think that's yeah. She's
She seems
just
like a real ray of sunshine.
yeah. I went to her Facebook profile and she said she's back from being kicked off and she's back to triggering people.
Yeah, that's.
So I'm like,
So
no,
she
hun,
never
I'm the
agreed.
one who pulls the trigger, dumbass.
She never agreed to the show, huh?
No, no, of course not.
Pussy.
And none of these liberals have ever
Pussy.
come on. I'm like, man, I'll give you all the airtime.
Yeah.
I was like, just let me introduce you and say goodbye, and all the rest of it can be you.
Damn. No, I would have liked to hear that one.
Oh, she did go on and say that I am a prime example of things that should have been aborted. And I'm like, well, just because you abort 100 babies a year, don't mean everybody else does, silly boy.
You supported the choice when the mom wants it, you stupid bitch.
Yeah, my mom didn't want to abort me. You know, I know your mom's did, but she probably couldn't afford it. I'm like, man, I'm the cut down king, woman. You want to
I'll tell you what,
go? You
it's
want to?
not going to be. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm
Sorry.
like, you want to go toe to toe with me? I have made women like you cry. Okay, I haven't even pulled out the big guns. Did you read? Yeah, I love the part where I told her that her words were touching my private parts.
Yeah, I see that one.
See, I told
Was she the one that laughed at it?
she she told me I would love to be touched.
Yeah, you'd be happy if for anything to touch you. It's like
Be like anything but
let me get at
you,
her. Let me see
son.
how practice.
I just like to call them boys
Oh,
sometimes.
she's black. She's the black lady. Let me look at these photos.
I couldn't see anything but just like a couple lines.
Caught me with that name, Rachel.
See, I thought it was another one of my friends, and I was like, What? What did that woman just say? I will
I
slap
can't.
her. She lives a few blocks from me. You better not be talking shit like that around me. Living, you know, 3 blocks away from my
Bigger,
door. I will
bigger.
come and knock on it.
I mean, she's kind of all right, but she's one of them
That's a
lefties.
dude.
Maybe.
That ain't no
I don't know. What's
girl.
it say? It says something matters. Something matters. It doesn't say Black Lives. My voice matters. My vote matters. She voted. Good for you, I guess.
Her
But she's a
vagina
biker chick.
manners.
Suzuki. She's a crotch rocket chick.
Yeah.
Uh,
But it's a very closed page. You can't see anything but right there. And I'm like, and
I
that
see
to me
that. Yeah.
speaks coward or not a real person.
I
Otherwise
cannot wait for
known
this coffee to be gone.
as a troll.
Yeah, she looks like she could be part Asian, part black. It really caught me with that name though.
I think she reminds me of a dude.
I mean, she's not super attractive. She's not hideous.
No, she's
I put her at about a
transitioning.
4 or 5.
I think she's transitioning to be a boy.
Oh, well, it's gonna be hard to cut them titties off. She got some big ones. Uh,
I'm
but
just
doesn't have
being
any.
rude. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
well,
send
I
her
mean, she's
this
not.
link when I'm done.
I wonder what she did when you were like, "Hey, come on the show." I bet she was like, "Oh fuck,
I'm like,
oh shit."
come on,
No, I ain't going
honey.
on the show.
It's
I
because
ain't.
they're big old sissy cowards. They won't put
Well,
their
even
money
in her
where their mouth
responses,
is.
yeah. Even in her responses, she wasn't ready. It's it went to what's it called pretty quick. Went to trying to shit on you. Pop goes the weasel. From Ashley to ashes. It always.
Yeah, I'm like, okay.
What a fucking terrible thing to say. Like Ash, like. I mean, if I can try to, not that I'm going to give her anything, but if I can try to look at it from like her point of view, to an effect of like, okay, what if Antifa were, one of them got shot at a one of the courthouses that they were trying to burn down. I don't know if any of them did. I mean, I've seen videos of them getting pushed
No,
back with like
no, yeah.
water and
None of them got shot.
yeah. But like if one of them got shot and killed point blank by like a guy that was I'd be like, yeah, he needs to go to jail. They shouldn't have been there, but she needs to go to jail. I'm
The
sorry,
only one
the
that
cop
got
needs to go
killed
to
really
jail.
out of that whole thing was George Floyd, and he had it coming.
Dude, I just watched a video. I'd kind of seen it before, but I really sat and watched it. His is short, and again, one of those death shorts because you'll sit there for hours on end watching it. And it was what's the Dave Chappelle, and he was going in on Candace Owens and talking about how she's a stupid bitch and she's dumb and she's because she stated that George Floyd died. Like she went into his background and how the left was making him a hero, and they did,
Yeah.
and he was trying to come back, and it was kind of sad to see somebody because I remember Skinny Chappelle, the white power that DB says all the time, which he says it so well, comes from Dave Chappelle when he played the blind black guy that didn't know that he was black.
Yeah, the blind
And
KKK leader who didn't know he
yeah,
was
yeah,
black.
yeah, and how he says white power. It's just so fucking funny. So that Skinny Chappelle before he went to Africa and all that. I liked him. I thought he was funny. I thought he was edgy. Still he's always gone on about this race shit because that's what a lot of comedians have to start off with. A lot of black comedians have to start off with the, what's wrong with white people type shit. And it's just like, ugh, fucking recycled, regurgitated bullshit. Please tell me how fucking terrible white people are that you've never experienced, but you've only ever heard stories of. You know what I mean? Like, fucking go on.
I can.
I, I,
I
I,
can. I can
I,
tell you. And I
I
told people
doubt
back in 2008,
what.
I'm like, there ain't nobody that's killed more people in this world than white people, and why you want to go push their buttons while they're relaxing is beyond me. I was like, you really want to wake these guys up? You
Yeah, well,
really
that's a
want
point.
them to come at you?
Yeah, that's a point to be made.
I'm like,
Really, it's a
nobody's killed
counterpoint.
more than white people.
Are you sure?
Oh,
I don't know if
yeah.
like I just like I don't know if I can back that. I'm not sure about the numbers. I mean, maybe.
Well,
I feel
white
like
people are from here to the other end of Russia, dude.
sure. No, no, no. I mean, I'm not saying that it's absolutely wrong. It's just like, man, I kind of feel like maybe there's another race that has done some shit that maybe we're like neck and neck on. You know, like the Asians. There's a lot of Asians.
Well, they're white.
Well, yeah, true. When well, depends on who's color in the cartoon, right?
Right.
They color their skin yellow. Although Homer's yellow, so
Homer. And then,
um,
look at, the Romans fighting the British.
yeah.
All those are white people. The French, the
No, what you're saying though
Germans.
is a great counterpoint to this isn't happening, right? Like you wouldn't be saying this shit if that's how white people were. You're only saying it because they're not.
Yeah,
You
they're
know,
not that way right now.
they're not that way right now,
But,
and they're not that way in your lifetime. You
yeah,
know,
like, look at
well,
World War II. Look at all the people who died there. Jewish people to me, those are white people, too.
oh yeah, for sure. I mean, maybe the Jewish people in the Middle East are a little
Now,
more
of
dark
course, they
complected,
died.
but I don't know. I mean, Erdogan? No, what's his name? What's the guy of? I'm trying to remember what Kanye brought up. Netanyahu.
Look at all the Indians we killed.
Netanyahu is pretty white. He's a pretty white guy,
Native
dude. Fuck, man.
Americans.
I've seen some. Yeah, I've seen some Jews that were whiter than me. That's hard, dude. That is hard to beat. Of course, I do have the leopard-like freckles all over me.
See, that's why I never had a problem with Jesus being white. I also don't have a problem with him being black either. I wasn't back there. But I know where Jesus was born, you know what? Was a pretty cosmopolitan area.
Well, I've always been good on him being Middle Eastern, and also the race, the skin tone and skin color of people being understanding that it comes more so from no, not more so. It comes from the geographical region, right? Of generations after generations being in a certain
Yeah,
area where they're getting more sun.
Bethlehem, Nazareth.
Sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, he would look more like a Middle Eastern person. It's kind of like in Revelation, which is something that John Fugelsang would bring up. He tries to say that, well, he's not white, he's got burnished brown skin and he's a brown skinned person, really more so leaning towards black. And it's like, no, John, burnished brown means it's because in what was so big in those days is they wore sandals because they had to walk in sand and dirt. And the reason that it talks about his feet is because of the work that he did the 3 days that he went into what we called hell as Catholics, but it was really the essentially the underworld, right, where he had to go and visit all of
Oh,
those
he went to Detroit.
Jews.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he went to Detroit. But when he died, where he went for the 3 days after that, which was all the Jews, all of the people that had already passed prior to him, right? At least that's what the explanation is from the Catholic Church.
I've
But
heard
it's
different ones, but
so the talking of the burnished brown skin is to say that he was walking, right?
yeah.
He was doing some traveling. That's why it talks about his burnished brown skin.
Oh man, you
But they'll
catch
also say,
me in September, and I am brown.
yeah,
I'm like, I take my pants off, it looks like I'm wearing white
white shorts.
underwear.
I can attest to it, dude. Bentley's got some. He is olive skin for sure.
And you know what?
Um,
I'm Scottish and Irish with a touch of a couple different natives.
You lucky motherfucker.
So I think that's
I
what
didn't
I
get it.
get. My
Yeah, I'm
sister,
Scotch Irish too.
same thing, but she's strawberry blonde and burns.
You know, I burn quick, fast, and in a hurry. But if I'm using, what is it, 15 or 30? I think it's 30. If I use 30, SPF 30, I get a nice tan. My
Cool.
son didn't think he could get a tan. For any of you redheads listening, you can tan. I know that people are going to tell you, no, you can't. Yes, you can. I promise. My son got a tan this summer.
You just gotta
He's,
get in the sun.
yeah, you gotta get in the sun more. But you gotta protect yourself too. SPF, I'd say SPF 30 to 50, somewhere in between there. But get around the sun enough to where it's going to start tanning your skin. It'll happen.
It'll tan you through a white shirt.
Sure, yeah, you can get a sunburn. You can get a sunburn through clouds too. So don't do that dumbass mistake that I made back in the
But
day.
back to Jesus, I don't care if he's white or black. It doesn't. I know that in the Old Testament, it talks about Jesus being not a handsome kind of guy and having like woolen hair.
Well, in
Like he
part
had
that
thick
comes from
wool hair.
Revelation. Yeah, no, I'd see that again. That's a mess up from Revelation that like somebody like John Fugelsang will say. What it says is he has his
Well, I've
hair was
read it in
white
the Old Testament.
in the Old Testament. That it. Oh, you're talking about what, like Jeremiah or Isaiah?
One of those, I can't recall. But yeah, it talks about him having hair like
Yeah, I
wool.
think yeah,
So I'm like, oh,
something
he
like
looks
that.
like
Well,
Mr. Carter or Mr. Carter.
I would assume, I think it does matter in a sense because he's not blonde hair, blue eyed, right? So I've never liked that. He's not Asian from like Japan. He's not black from Africa. Um, he's Middle Eastern, and I'm fine with that because if you think about it, that's kind of like where the UV rays would make you have darker skin. You'd come from a Jewish line of that
And that
area.
would be Semitic. I looked into that,
Right.
and that whole area is Semitic. Whether you are Jewish or Muslim, you're from that area, and
Yep.
the people in that area are Semitic. So when you're anti-Semitic, you could be anti-Muslim too, or maybe you're both.
Yep. I've never liked the phrase anti-Semitic because it can attach itself to so many things. But primarily, somebody like Ben Shapiro would say that for anybody that talk badly about Jews, they're saying something anti-Semitic, and it's like, would you please like specify? You're talking about anti-Jew. That's more so what it is. Quit it.
Right. I'm
Because he
talking
never says
like
it when it comes to Muslims.
anti-butthole, but they happen to be Jewish.
Ah, gotcha, gotcha.
That's how I roll, and then they got to turn it around and say, well, he's Jewish. And I'm like, well, okay, technically, yeah, but the main part about it is he's a butthole. That's what
Yeah,
we need to concentrate on. Now, you want to concentrate on him being Jew, I guess you got a problem with Jews. I got a problem with the butthole.
yeah. I can agree to that. Um, did you have any major issues that you wanted to jump on on this episode? Good sir.
Uh, well, there is still, and I like the whole demon thing, right? And then number one, I've been watching some Supernatural with my heroes, Sammy and Dean.
Did I tell you that my daughter is named after Sam?
Oh yeah, cool.
My
I
son
like
named
that.
her. Yeah, so it's a great series. Great. Oh, dude, it's so fun and so good. I mean, it's a fun show to watch. It really is. Especially, I would say it's targeted more so for like, men who grew up in like the 80s and 90s, right? Kind of more geared towards us.
Yeah, the
Which
music,
you
the
wouldn't think.
jokes, the
Yeah, because it comes from like the CW, and the CW usually targets their shit towards like 13-year-old girls, right? Well, not so much in this one. This is more towards like guys and action and tons of fun. But my son loved it, and I don't know how old he would have been 6. He would have been, yeah, so 6 years. Anyway, we let him name my daughter, and and this was before we knew it was a girl. He said Sam, so it could have went Samuel or Samantha, and she came out a girl, obviously, and so we went with Samantha.
Cool. I like
Yeah,
that. I'm a big fan of Sam. I don't know
yeah.
his real name, but
His real name is Jared Padalecki, and
okay.
Dean's is Jensen Ackles. And Jensen is a Christian. Both of them are from Texas, and they were both supposed to originally play the other's character. So Sam was supposed to play Dean, and Dean was supposed to play Sam.
You know what? I can't see that happening.
It'd be so weird,
I
wouldn't
can't.
it?
Yeah, I can't see Dean. At Eccleston playing
Yeah,
Sam, the more tender-hearted guy, for some
right.
reason.
Be
He
weird.
would look
It'd be
so
so weird.
gay if he was the one doing that.
Yeah, he would. He's just like, yeah, he's just kind of built for playing like the low, short temper.
Yeah, and I
You know,
love it when the big brother is the smaller guy.
that is funny. I mean, they really play into it. And then, by the way, these guys are not small. I think Dean is like 6'1", 6'2",
I saw him
and
standing by somebody. I went ahead. I started watching it all again. I got done
yeah,
with like, man, I don't even know what to watch. I'm gonna go back to Sam and Dean.
square one. That first episode, the acting's so bad, dude.
It
Oh
is.
gosh,
I'm surprised
it's
that.
terrible. I mean, they really came into their own during it, but it was rough, man. That first couple episodes, you're like,
Well,
oh,
anyway, there
how
are
did they
so
make it?
many demons, and then I was thinking about the Pope
Right.
talking about the demons in the church. And the last time I
Yeah.
had Matthew Miller on my show, which is a big giant Bible expert that I'll put up against anyone,
Hell yeah.
and uh, I asked him about demons. And it had nothing to do with Sam and Dean or anything like that. Because I was wondering because when Jesus and his people ran into demons, they were always at the end of town, sometimes living on like the tombs or something and around the tombs. And it wasn't like Jesus ever threw a demon out of the mayor of the town or the local
Oh, I
priest.
got you. Yeah.
It was always right outside of town. I'm like, is this the kind of demons? Are they out there? Are they just these crazy people can only be demons? Or can there be like demons like on the supernatural with you can
Right.
talk to?
Almost
Because
like
it's hard for
ancient
me to
myth.
think that a person can be, like, say, as an example, I'm not saying that Biden is possessed by a demon. Because the demons that I would have been familiar with from the Bible, I would obviously be able to tell he was a demon. Because he'd be crazy and
Yeah. I
scary
mean,
because nobody wanted him around.
to an effect, right? Because there's different like tiers of demons. I mean, if you go all the way back to Solomon, shit, what was his book that he had? King Solomon. There was some book that he had of like calling demons, which is where they get a lot of the demons in the show. I mean, that revelation when they call in Abaddon, um, the I don't think they ever talked to Legion. I don't think they ever had Legion be a part of it. And the thing about Supernatural is it is based in a from a or I'm sorry, its foundation is Christianity, but they never have Jesus in the entire season or in the entire series.
No,
Never
And
once did they
and
ever have
Dean
Jesus.
at this point does not believe in God.
And man, they really fucked over Christians at the end. I mean, to have it be a part of your foundation, and then in the final two seasons to do what they did, it was just like, what what fucking SOS did you get in there? You know what I mean by SOS? Synagogue of Satan.
Oh,
Those Jews that say
yeah,
that they
because
are
what
Jews but
God
are not.
was Chuck,
Yeah, which if you look, kind of looks like they kind of were going for the Jesus look, right? To
right?
an effect, but they never said it was Jesus. They never really bring in Jesus. They have some crosses here or there, people wearing crosses, but they bring in angels, they bring in heaven, but they really weaken it down. I mean, they really they didn't touch on the omnipotence of God or the all-knowing or anything like that. It was just he had powers at times, but he was weak enough that his own creations could destroy. I mean, it's just like I feel like they just ran out of steam after, I don't know, 13
Right, yeah,
seasons.
because God
You
could have
know?
just put the smack down on it, took everybody's memories away, and made Dean a clerk, a bagging clerk at the
Yeah.
grocery store. You know what I'm saying? And then
There's all sorts of things.
look,
Yeah.
anything could have happened. But
And
honestly
then,
though, I didn't watch the last season.
oh, you didn't?
No, I got
I
to
don't
the
say
end of it
don't.
and was like, I don't want to watch it. I remember my
If
honey.
I would say
I'm
if you
like,
watch
nope.
anything of
Yeah.
the last season, maybe watch the last episode, and then that might tie it in a little bit better,
Yeah.
because it's I feel like they actually did a fairly good job with that last episode, even though the rest of the season I was sickened by it. I mean, it was
What
just
did I?
like,
I liked old Crowley for some reason.
so did I. Yeah, he was a lot because he was fun. He was goofy, you know. He'd call Sam Moose, you know, and then on his phone, whenever Dean would call him, it would be not Moose, you know. They did. They. It was a fun show, especially early on, you know. And they, even the actors they were talking about how it was like it kind of became the same rigmarole after 7 or 8 or 9 seasons, where like one would come around and the other wouldn't, and then they were lying to each other, and all sorts of shit. They do all of this and then come back at the end and then fuck up at the beginning of the next season, and I mean, it was
Yeah,
still good.
that's something is consistent in all TV shows is they all lie.
Yeah,
And like me, I like to think of myself as not a liar. And, so when people ask me a question, I will tell them the truth. And on occasion, when people have asked me for the truth, they're like, will you tell me the truth? And I'm like, do you want to hear the truth? And they're like,
yeah.
no. I was like,
Well, when it's
okay.
so
I was like,
obvious,
because I will tell you the truth. Are you sure you want to hear it?
yeah.
And they told me no, they didn't want to not hear the truth. I
Well, I
had,
think, yeah, because it becomes obvious, even more obvious at that point. Like I'll have situations where somebody will ask me something, and it's so obvious that they're asking because they know, and I'll usually say, "Well, do you want me to lie to you, or do you want me to tell you that it looks terrible, or whatever it may be?" You know what I mean? So, at times I'll be that harsh. I mean, we've all lied. I've certainly told my fair share. Um, but it's just like I was telling my son the other day. It's the consistency, it's the choice, the intent. I've never liked that idea of, or that saying, that the road to hell is paved with good intentions. It's
mm-hmm.
like, yeah, but
It don't make
good,
sense.
good. It doesn't make sense, because good works. You have to have the good intent in the first place. It's not like you have bad intentions and then you end up doing good shit.
Yeah.
It's like,
Because here you
well,
go. How about this as an example? Taking it literally, you and I were on a road, and we don't know what road we're on, but then we come up to one that says, road paved with good intentions. I'll be like, well, I'm taking this. So you want to go with me there,
right.
John O. Machado? And you'd be like, yeah. And then we take off on it and we end up in hell? That ain't right.
No, it's not. It's not right. And I mean, that you could cut to the chase a little bit more and just say, well, good intentions aren't as good as good works, or something to that effect. Like, um,
I
the
guess,
the saying, that
yeah,
saying, I've always hated it.
well, how about this? Intentions aren't really something thought through,
Yeah, well, not
also.
yet, right? It's the beginning. But I'll also go a step, I guess, further to say that you need that first, right? It's easier said than done. Yeah, but you still need to say it. You can't just not think it, and then all of a sudden you're doing it. It's like it's a process.
Well, how about
It
this?
makes
Here's
better
good
and worse.
intentions. Here's me doing something in good intentions, and then at the end of my little thing, it's somebody who's actually trying to rob me.
Let's hear this story.
I was just like, doing some directions things out in, I don't know, Cleveland.
Yeah.
And my good intentions was just, okay, yeah. And that you want to show me? Sure. And when I get there, I go, and all of a sudden I realize I'm in the wrong place, and there's all kinds of people getting ready to hurt me, or at least, I don't know, make fun of me. I don't know, but I think they were going to take my stuff.
Right.
And, well, honestly, man, I remember just telling them as soon as I got there and realized what was going on before anything else started. I told them no. They didn't even get a chance to tell me they wanted my stuff.
Mm.
And I just
Well, there
turned
you
around
go.
and walked away.
Yeah.
But I was like, wow, thank you, Jesus. I learned
Yeah.
a lesson there. Just
Fuck
don't be a
yeah.
dumbass when you get to town. That might help.
Tends to.
Because sometimes you can't trust everybody, and that's something that I find I like to do. But God don't tell me to trust people. He tells me to love them and love them like I love God. But people are people. He didn't say anything about me trusting them. He gave me that discernment, and I need to work on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's definitely something it's an ongoing lesson in learning it.
Like, dude, I got your back there, bad dog, but here's what can happen if you're stupid.
Yeah. Well, I mean, take my brother-in-law from my first wife. Me
Take
and him
him,
were very close.
please.
Yeah, we were very close. And I assume that he had every good intent possible. I mean, we were close as brothers. And when shit hit the fan and things were being said, accusations made, and things happened, I would have always assumed that he would have gave me the benefit of the doubt, and never, and it didn't, and he didn't. And I told him straight up. I go, man, she stuck that fucking knife in my back. I go, brother, you didn't have to fucking turn it, you know. So, it was like, I don't know. I still feel like I should have trusted him in the beginning, no matter, but no matter how it ended. But, buddy, I mean, fuck, does that hurt? Even today, like, I saw him about a year or so ago, and it was just like, fuck. It's kind of like, I guess, like seeing an ex-girlfriend, where it's just like, you had love for this person. You would have fucking went to battle with him. If anybody would have talked some shit, you'd have fucking smacked them. If
Right
they'd talk
on.
shit about it. And then, like, in your worst hour, they didn't come to your aid. They didn't side with you. And, like, yeah, I don't know if it's just the type of person I am. I'm like, all right, well, I get it. His wife is her sister. He's stuck in a bad spot. But fuck, man, you don't have to do the shit you're doing. You don't have to really just go all out. Like, my brother-in-law now, Brain, right? Me and him we were having a conversation about some shit. I don't want to give away too many things. It's nothing to do with Brain himself, right? But there's some things going on, and I told him, I go, I don't give a fuck how things go. You and me are brothers. We will always be brothers. I will always be your brother, dude. I'm never gonna fucking, I ain't walking away. So, no matter what, I'm always gonna be here, dude. So, um, you know, so he knew that. Like, he knows it now. And I remember there was another thing that me and him were just talking about, and I kind of brought that up again because I'm the kind of friend that does that. I'll remind you that I'm your buddy, and I'm not going anywhere, just in case you need to hear it. And his response was just like, "Duh," you know what I mean? And I love him to death, dude. He's awesome. He's a fucking phenomenal uncle. I have some really good uncles, but Brain to my kids, it just blows my mind how good he is to them. It's just like, I mean, they're awesome, they're cute, they're fun, they're adorable, they're my kids, but he loves them to death, and they love him when he comes into town. It's just like, holy fuck, they can't wait to see him. My sister's jealous as all get out too, because she's like, I picked out the gifts, and I'm like, I go, the kids, I go, listen, I can't help it. I go, he is the way that he is. He's fucking fun to be around. And the thing is, he's like, I don't want to say he's an introvert. I don't know, maybe he is, but he's not with me. Me and him will sit down and we'll chat the entire time. He just does. I don't know. There's some people that don't talk to him, or he doesn't talk to them, whatever it may be. But he's just a good dude.
Well, how about this? Dude. It was odd meeting a girl online who said she was an introvert. And I'm like, well, how's that work with texting and things?
Yeah, it's a weird loophole, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm like, how's that work? You're shy. So, okay.
Except for on the internet, like I said, I mean, I guess it's like a loophole, right?
Something else I noticed about on the internet, and then we'll get back to something more important. But it was like on the dating apps, and it would be these girls who said, I'm not a one-night stand or friends with benefits and blah, blah. I'm looking for one man. And then you scroll down and look at all their pictures, and they're all like cleavage and butt shots. And
yeah, that's the devolution of our species right there is the thought, THOT. These broads, and then they think, like, listen, ladies, if anybody are still listening to us after our episode a couple back.
Oh, they're not listening to you now.
I'm sure that there are. This is the thing, dude. There's some women out there that are just, they fucking get it. Not some. I'd say probably, I want to believe half. Shit, I'd want to believe more than half. But there's plenty of women out there that have figured this shit out. There's a new girl. Her channel is All Things Pearly. Her first name's Pearl, Pearl, and she's kind of getting up there. You may have seen her on some shorts and stuff. She's a pretty based lady. She's not like. She was on a panel, on a Vice panel recently with Sydney. Fuck, what's her last name? Sydney's been on Elijah Schaefer's show. She used to co-host with him, and she was on there with this Pearl chick. But anyway, you have people like Sydney Watson. You have people like Sydney Watson. You have people like this woman named Pearl that have figured it out. They're like, I don't like this. I don't like the liberalism bullshit. I don't like the sleeping around. I don't like any of that. I don't like women acting like men. I'd rather women act like women and men act like men. But this is another thing is, and what's really, I think, starting to cause it is you're having more and more of these modern day women, younger women, 18 to, 30, who are getting very frustrated because men won't approach them. They're not seeing as many manly men out there. The men that they are seeing are usually pussies, because they're effeminate now, because they've been emasculated their entire, life all the way up until this point, and they're starting to see it and they're starting to break away. So I would assume that I still do have. I'd have to look at the analytics. Maybe I can look it up right now.
They've been programmed, castrated.
Yeah, to a large effect, for sure. Wait a minute, what am I on? Oh, I'm on Brave. No wonder. Brave's pretty cool though. When you bring up Brave, it'll give you all the news and shit on your laptop, which is kind of nice.
But how about the demons in the Pope land? But he's just saying that they're everywhere, and especially in places like that.
Well, see, this is another thing about him, dude. It's so, I can tell you this, and I think I said it a couple episodes back. I wish that other priests would have been picked. I mean, certainly there's a father here in Michigan named John Ricardo, Father John Ricardo. I highly suggest anybody that's, curious about what Catholics believe in, what have you. This guy is awesome. Look him up. Listen to him. He's phenomenal. Father John Ricardo. Fantastic.
Phenomenal.
I would have loved to see him as Pope. I doubt he would have taken it. He's a bit too much of a realist. He would have been like, that's too much. He already does enough. And priests are very busy anyway. But anyway, the last two popes, when you don't know, like, where, if you want to side with them, if you don't know what's going on, because Benedict had the entire scandal kind of fall in his lap, and he didn't really handle it very well. And then you have this pope who still is on the end of that whole situation. Not to say that it stopped, or that there haven't been cases since, but
Jesuit.
And he's part Jesuit, and Jesuits were the Catholic Church were pretty firm in their rule that Jesuits couldn't be pope. And then next thing you know, a Jesuit's a pope. So it's like, what the fuck's going on here? And then you can't really put your finger on it, because he's reaching out so much to the LGBT and the liberal left, and they like him. And anytime that your enemy likes something, maybe might be a problem there. You would think, but I just don't like that either one of them were chosen. I don't like that I can't look at my pope and be like, yeah, he's fucking based. It's worrisome. But all that being said, he'll say shit like he just said, where it's like, okay, are you calling out the evil that infiltrated the church? Oh shit, I meant to do that. Fuck. Excuse me. I gotta look up this video to put on
And then
on the website.
if there is, I'm like, dude, do you know somebody specifically that we should know about?
Right. Yeah. Although I will give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt that I don't even know if it's benefit of the doubt. I'll give him a little slack. If he isn't gonna say who it is, because there's an investigation, because once you start name calling and shit, all of a sudden the bad guys go underground. To that effect, I'll kind of give him a little bit of slack there, where he's not just all out, well, it's this one and this one. You know what I mean? Although that needs to be at the end of the investigation. All the names need to come out, just like with this Ghislaine Maxwell case. If you guys are holding on to it so that you can do the investigation, and before anybody can run and get all the bad guys, and then come out and tell us, okay, I'll give you a little bit of slack in that, but I highly doubt that's the case. So even with this pope, it's like, all right, is that what you're doing? Are you saying that there's evil that's infiltrated us? Are you doing your due diligence? Are you researching who they are, or investigating who they are and finding them out and getting rid of them? I mean, that's something I've been praying for a couple years now. Is that we as Catholics purge out all of the evil that's infiltrated the church. I can only hope that it happens one day, but I don't know. Shit, what is it? Church militant. Communist infiltration. I didn't say that right. Communist infiltration. Vortex. Alright, there it is.
I think that's a common thing anyway, communist infiltration.
Well, yeah, they did it to everyone. You
Yeah.
know? They did it to everyone. I know this is it, but I don't know. It just says the vortex dash infiltration.
So the fun thing.
This might be it. And then watch the download every week. Yeah. Now that I have this up, I'll remember to upload this onto the account. It's probably be tomorrow, because once I get off this, I'm gonna do some shit before I go to bed. So I won't get to this. But anyway, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, the Pope talking about the demons and shit. Yeah, I would say that even back then, as you were saying, he wasn't removing any demons from mayors or governors or anybody like that. Sure, but there's different tiers of demons. So maybe the poorer people, those that the lower tier demons would infest, but what's the other word? Possess. Oh,
Possess, yeah.
Yeah, that they would possess in order to, I don't know, in their way have fun with them. Where maybe the smarter demons didn't want to get caught, especially if they were to rise to a certain level of power. I mean, when you have the army of hell
Yep.
like the devil does,
They knew who he was.
right? Yes, but the devil doesn't want to get caught. That's one of his, as the saying goes from Usual Suspects, that the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world that he didn't exist. He did. He operated in such a way that he wanted to be hidden. He wanted people to forget about him.
Yeah.
It makes it easier to control things. Think about the what do they call the people operating everything from behind the veil in DC?
Like
Not the
the
swamp.
black government.
Yeah, whatever that's called. Yeah, exactly. They do it from the shadows. The Illuminati. They never wanted to be. They never came out. I mean, I think the intent is to come out, but you have to wait until you have enough power. Because if you come out, then your head can be cut off. So, the smart thing for them to do, if they want to gain that power, is not to gain notoriety. David Rothschild, he was still going out in public for a long time. Anybody could have picked him off if they were really out. Yeah, we're the Illuminati. We control everything. He's not going to go travel. I mean, it's just like the president. The president doesn't travel all that often outside of the the places of government. Even with a security team, because he'll get picked off too easy. Too many people who want to kill him, no matter who the president is.
Yeah, just some random dumbass will do it.
Yeah, certainly he's not going to go on a jog down the street, by himself.
Yeah.
Although this one that's in office, he has a hard time fucking just taking a bike ride.
He has a hard time opening his mouth.
Not that, again, I don't want to give him anything, but I don't know who gave him that bike, because they were setting him up for failure anyway. If you watch that video again and look at his foot, you have to place your foot in the shoe of the pedal, and it's got whatever the spikes are called.
Yeah, I've talked
on the
about
pedal.
that. That's a whole other different thing, that somebody just cruising around a little bit. I would use those doing what I did, which was like single track, like moving really fast,
Yeah, you're either
and
moving
you
really
get a
fast
little
or
bit of extra thing because you're pulling that pedal up,
yeah,
and
and you don't want to lose grip. You want to be able to keep your
no,
grip.
and there's a
You're not
certain
taking your
way
foot off
you
the-
gotta move your foot, and it's just a little slide of your foot, and it comes out of there, but
Yeah.
it
So,
takes a moment to figure that out.
well, and when you give it to an idiot,
Yeah,
fuck,
like I would have
you can't do
never
that.
put anybody that's on that was going to be. And it's also, you're not supposed to be doing like 5 mile an hour on it in those.
Yeah, you're supposed to be hitting it hard.
Yeah, I know. I did that. I
So,
know what I'm talking about. I went with a different set, but
did you go with the set where you needed the shoes and the shoes locked into it?
no, no. You just slid your foot right into like a little hooks,
Yeah.
or a little cage kind of thing at the front of your foot.
Well, no matter. That was just the wrong person on the wrong bike. But
And I wouldn't have given him my bicycle.
I wouldn't have gave him shit. You've been
No.
like, fucking kick rocks, old man. Fuck off.
I
That'd been-
would have put him on a bicycle built for two with somebody responsible in front.
Tandem. You put him on a tandem bike. I'd have
Yeah.
gave him. You know what? I take that back. I'd have gave him a bike without a seat on it. Have at it.
Give him the scooter,
There you
dumbass.
go, you old man.
Give
Anywho,
him, give him a chocolate chip ice cream, and we'll be all right.
Yeah, and I think the um, development of the psychological wing of um, the scientific community, the scientific world, whatever you want to call it. I think that probably also, and in a certain degree, right, not a certain degree, in a large amount, in a right way, because there were a lot of people who simply just had mental issues, you know. But what I think ended up happening, especially with the development of the humanist society or whatever you want to call that, and the atheist, uh, what happened is it kind of went the other direction, where now everybody that isn't acting normal, it just has a mental issue. They're mentally ill. And I hope that we never, although it seems like we already have, but I hope we never forget like just how terrible the the medical community was to humanity. Even now, I mean, look at what just happened with COVID. It's like they never learn their lesson. They think they're the smartest fucking people in the room, that they want that power, and don't think that it wasn't any different when this shit first started coming around, especially when you had all of the psych wards back in the day. What do they call them? Fucking not.
Asylums.
I know, not like a loony bin is, huh?
An
Yeah,
asylum.
asylums, insane asylums. Yeah, back when they had the insane asylums. I mean, these people were treated in so many different places, just so bad. I mean, here in Northville, in Michigan, where I went to all the haunted tunnels and shit, there's all sorts of stories of how bad patients were treated in
Oh
these
yeah,
places. You
for
know, I,
sure.
yeah, people that should have never ever been in them were put in them, instituted. I mean, they electroshock therapy.
Yeah,
You know,
I know some of those people in there. Not all of them by any means. They were only in there because they were immigrants and didn't speak a lick of English.
sure, they had that. They had people who, much like what they try to make out the Salem witch trials, like they try to make that out to be as if it was like hundreds of thousands of women were just fucking killed during the time. And it's like I think there was 18 total, and that number might be a little high. Um, but it was like that. It was like that mentation of like, oh, we got to get them put in an insane asylum. Dude, I mean, you're talking about even the Inquisition mentality. You would have that if somebody was your rival to an effect, you could always call them in. You could pull that string if you knew somebody and get them instituted. You
Yeah,
know, there's all sorts of terrible things that happen to people. So, and I think in that change and that shift over to where like all of a sudden the scientific community talking their shit about nobody's possessed or whatever, and people believing it and going along with it, appealing to authority. Once they became the authority, I think you had a lot of people that were um, possessed that went unnoticed or undiagnosed as such.
yeah,
And for people that aren't religious, aren't Christian, especially, and aren't Catholic, uh, they don't understand how skeptical the church has always been. When it comes to like trying to get an exorcism on a house or on a person or on whatever, the church is the first skeptic that you'll see. Like you got to go through all sorts of hoops to prove that you need an exorcist to come out and perform an exorcism. And in a lot of times, and I think the church needs to come around to maybe just kind of erring on the side that they are, more times than not, is because you might have somebody that dies from it. It's all sorts of crazy shit out there.
yeah. I
But
guess those
in
demons can have a hard time on the old body,
yeah, they sure
but
can. I mean,
I don't know.
uh,
But
the
I
shadow
have to
priest.
believe that they are out there.
Oh yeah, oh for sure, 100%. The shadow priest, my priest, um, he didn't like it. Like he's went and assisted with an exorcism or a couple, And he would tell me, he's like, no, nope, not doing that shit. I guess one guy almost killed him with his bare hand. Put his hand, like, I guess he took like a swipe, and it was like a bear. It was like a bear swiping at him. And he just missed, I think he just missed his head, or he just missed his chest or something to that effect. And the fucking guy's fingers went through the wood wall. And he's like, nope, I'm dude, nope, all done. All done with this shit.
Yep,
I didn't want to be an
that's when
extra
I'd have
shit
to
grease.
go all Dean and just hit him in the head with a baseball bat.
Oh, dude, go find the sawed off double
Salt
barrel
rock.
salt rock gun. Yeah, load that motherfucker into him.
That
Ain't gonna
definitely
die.
changes attitude.
Oh, could you imagine? Could you imagine getting pelted with fucking rock salt?
No.
Oh gosh, dude, the burning sensation you would have. Because first off, it's gonna be hot material,
Well, the
hot
worst part would
objects.
be me screaming like a little girl.
Oh, I'd bitch out quick, fast, and in a hurry. How? And then it starts burning, and then you feel the salt burning your fucking, oh, your flesh. Ouch.
Well, I guess it's got
Ouch.
to help with the healing.
Yeah, it's gonna heal. It's gonna heal within you. You're just gonna forever have holes in you. All right, we've reached. Remember, I said tight hour. I gotta
Tight,
stick to it. Last
tight
time we went
hour.
like an hour and 45 minutes. Um. All right, next time we'll talk more about some demons and shit. But go ahead and plug yourself, good sir.
Bad Dog Show at yahoo.com. Bad Dog Show at yahoo.com. You can see me just about everywhere. And the FringeRadioNetwork.com. FringeRadioNetwork.com.
And he's on Facebook. You can get a hold of me at metv1105 at gmail.com. That is metv1105 at gmail.com. Go to the website. Chapter 13's out. Theweaponbook.com. That is theweaponbook.com. And then you can find me on all the social network platforms, with the exception of Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Just look up John O'Machada. You all good, buddy?
I'm great.
That's all, folks. Until next time, be accountable, be responsible. Don't be a bitch-ass liberal.
Peace.